Causes of Wall Street's plunge continues to elude officials. A day after a terrifying plunge in the stock market, federal regulators were still unable on Friday to answer the one question on every investor's mind. What caused that near panic on Wall Street? Through the day and into the evening, officials from the Securities and Exchange Commission and other federal agencies hunted for clues amid a tangle of electronic trading records from the nation's increasingly high-tech exchanges. In other words, welcome to the machine. But somehow, the cause or causes of the market's wild swing remained elusive, leaving what amounts to a $1 trillion question mark hanging over the world's largest and most celebrated stock market. The initial focus of the investigations appeared to center on the way a growing number of high-speed trading networks interact with one another and with exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange. Most investors are unaware that these competing systems have fractured the traditional marketplace and have displaced exchanges like the big board as the dominant force in stock trading. The silence from Washington cast a pall over Wall Street, where shaken, frightened traders returned to their desks Friday morning, hoping for quick answers. But the markets remained on edge as the uncertainty over what caused Thursday's wild, crazy swings added to the worries over the running debt crisis in Greece and Europe. In a joint statement issued after the close of trading, the SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission said they were continuing the review, and the two agencies indicated they were looking particularly closely at how different trading rules on different exchanges, which temporarily halted trading on some markets, while activity in the same stocks continued on other markets, might have contributed to the problem. We are scrutinizing the extent to which disparate trading conventions and rules across various markets may have contributed to the spike in volatility, the statement said. A government official who was involved in the investigation said regulators had moved away from a theory that it was a trading mistake, a so-called fat finger episode, and were examining the links between the futures and cash markets for stocks. In particular, this official said, it appeared that as stock trading was slowed on the New York Exchange, when big price moves started, orders moved automatically to other electronic exchanges that did not have pricing restrictions. The pressure in the less liquid markets was amplified by the computer-driven trades, which led still other traders to pull back. Only when traders began to manually respond to the sharp drop in the market seemed to turn around, said the official. On Friday evening, another government official directly involved in the investigation said that regulators had not yet been able to completely rule out any of the widely discussed possible causes of the market's wild gyrations. In other words, how complicated can you make something? Then it begins to spiral out of control. This official said that regulators had collected statistical and trading data from stock and futures exchanges and had begun cross-analyzing that with trading reports from brokerage firms and large market participants. Regulators have also gathered accounts of what happened from hedge funds and other trading firms. The two major regulatory agencies, the SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, have generated multiple memos detailing what they have found and offering possible causes or theories for the market events. Among the issues discussed in the memos, the official said, were the disparate rules that different stock exchanges have for dealing with large price movements on the same securities, and how prices on futures markets and stock exchanges appear to lead or follow each other's movements down and back up. The lack of a firm answer, more than 24 hours after the market's steep plunge Thursday, left some on Wall Street frustrated. The problem is, you don't come in and find out what the clear answer is, said Art Hogan, the New York-based chief market analyst at Jefferies and Company. We don't have the clear explanation for how it happened. More chaos and confusion. Others, however, said it could take time to pinpoint what happened, given the increasingly complex nature of modern stock trading. And again, so in other words, welcome to the machine. Over the last 5 years, the stock market has split into a plethora of new competing hubs and trading outlets, a legacy of deregulation earlier this decade, and fast-paced technological change. On Friday, the rivalry between the two main exchanges erupted into view as each publicly pointed the finger at the other for being a main cause of the collapse on Thursday, which sent shockwaves around the globe. This is the sort of situation that's been a worry for a long time, but the markets have changed in a way that's made things much more difficult. They've become more fragmented, so it's harder for any one exchange to see the full picture and take action. The absence of a unified system to halt trading in individual stocks led to bitter accusations between exchanges on Friday. Robert Griefeld, chief executive of Nasdaq OMX, appeared on CNBC to criticize the New York Stock Exchange for halting trading for up to 90 seconds and half a dozen stocks on Thursday. Stopping for 90 seconds in a time of crisis is exactly equivalent to not picking up the phone, he said. A few minutes later, the chief executive of NYSE Euronext responded in an interview on CNBC, blaming Nasdaq's computers for continuing trading while the market was in free fall. These computers go out and just find the next bid they can find, he said. This is crazy, like something never seen before. One of the biggest one-day plunges or falls in the stock market that's ever been seen. So, again, how complex can you make something? How complicated? These are more signs. Revelation chapter 10, verse 5. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven. 6. And swore by him that lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein, that there should be time no longer. 7. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he has declared to his servants, the prophets. And these are more signs of the end times, transition days. The transition is real. It is a continuing process happening day by day all around the world.